If you watch my previous video about beginner plan how to not ruin your account, you pretty much already have a glimpse of idea how the endgame works. If you haven't watched, I will explain shortly. Basically, we have 3 endgame content in Wuthering Waves, which is Hologram, Tower of Adversity, and Depths of Elusive Realm. The one that you need to focus on here is Tower of Adversity. Why? Because it gives you a stable amount of asteroid, which is the premium currencies to do your gacha. Now that you know you need to clear Tower of Adversity, then how does this game mode work? If you're coming from Genshin Impact, it is the same as Abyss. If you're coming from Star Rail, it is basically the same as MOC. But the closest one that I think is actually really similar with this game mode is Pancake from PGR. The game mode has 3 zones, which consist of several stages, and each stage has several levels. The first 2 zones basically have one-time rewards only, which means it won't reset anymore once you clear it. But Hazard Zone, which is the 3rd zone here, and the hardest one will reset its reward periodically. I assume probably every 2 weeks. Every time you use a character to clear a level, you need to spend character figure here, which is basically the stamina system for this game mode. Each character has 10 figure for each zones, and to clear a single stage, which consists of multiple levels, requires you exactly 10 figure. For example, like this stage, the first level requires you 1 figure, the second one requires 2, and the third level requires 3, and the last level requires 4, which then in total adds up to 10 figure requirement. The way you distribute your characters for each level obviously will affect in how many teams you need in order to clear all these stages. For example, if you use Jian to clear level 3 and level 4 for the first stage, that means you only have 3 figure left, which basically means you cannot use him for the 4th level in the next stages. This also means you need to carefully consider where you want to spend your figure because again, each enemy has its own elemental resistance, and you definitely don't want to use the same element as the enemy elemental resistance, that is just obvious. For example, the 4th level for this stage right here, we are fighting against Morning Eggs, and it has Spectro Elemental Resistance. That means I have to keep my Jian for this stage, or bring any other damage dealer than Roofer, because Roofer is a Spectro Elemental character, and obviously not an optimal damage dealer to fight against this boss. My suggestion for this is you need to observe the enemy first, prioritize which enemy you need to focus on. For example, we have a big boss like Morning Eggs, then I have to use Jian because he is the only second damage dealer that I have after Roofer. And then after putting Jian here, you basically just fill up the rest based on the remaining figure that you have for the rest of your team. For the first 2 zones, the only thing you need to have is just 2 kinds of damage dealer because there are only 2 stages. You pretty much don't need that many units, so make sure to at least build 2 kinds of damage dealer, preferably different element, and also 2 supports to trigger intro and outro skill. Baize is a great support, Yang is also a great support. I can see she's going to be a top tier free-to-play unit for Tower of Adversity, because her ultimate is a crowd control, and so far there isn't any other character, I mean any other 4-star characters that can do crowd control the same way like Yang. Unless you pull for Jian, but Jian is a 5-star character. For a free-to-play damage dealer, Roofer is a strong character. His sequence nodes also are easy to get, basically from gathering Sonan's caskets, which you can get by exploring the map. He has snappy movement, so it's very easy to parry with Roofer. Dungeon is also a top tier DPS in CBT2, her damage outmatch even 5-star characters. I don't know if they are going to nerf her or not in the release version, but she was really strong in the beta, but you are going to play her with constant low HP because she depletes her own HP upon attacking. Again, by the end of the day, you are going to level up all of your characters anyway to clear the 3rd zone of the tower, but if you want to clear the first 2 zones only, make sure to focus on building your first 2 damage dealer rather than distribute all of your materials equally for each character. That's all about the video. Wish you luck for your journey, and I see you guys in the release version.